People of the world, welcome to Marketing as a Foreign Language. This, the 256th episode. Our guest today worked for a Disney affiliate. We were having a fantastic conversation backstage about marketing. He really knows his stuff. He is a storyteller, so you're going to want to stick around for that. But before we get into all that, TheGuardian.com reporting that Facebook's value tops $1 trillion. $1 trillion after judge dismisses U.S. lawsuits. The reason I mention this is because, as I've said on the show before, multinational corporations like Facebook, Google, etc., TikTok, you could argue, which is ByteDance, are more powerful than some small governments. They have more influence than some small governments. They are the first step we're going to take towards a more world government vibe, right? I'm looking for a graphic designer. Do I care where that graphic designer is? Absolutely not. I do not. It is a global economy. These arbitrary lines that we've decided to draw and have been relevant for many, many years, I argue, are going to become less and less relevant, and Facebook policy is going to become more and more relevant. $1 trillion. Wrap your head around that one. The Grand Forks Herald. I'm from North Dakota. I couldn't help myself. YouTube video spotlighting North Dakota Governor Burgum gets more than 500,000 views. Let's go, North Dakota. North Dakota gets so much crap. On Bill Maher Real Time, he's always talking about, why do we need 2 Dakotas? Why are they getting 4 votes in the Senate? And he's not wrong. I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm just saying he says it. UStoday.com, with Google's new limit on free data storage, don't forget your Gmail inbox. It could be stuffed. Since Google stopped providing unlimited storage in Google Photos June 1st, some of you may be worried that excess cat photos will push you into paying for extra storage. But the space crunch might not hinge on images at all, because Google's 15 gigabyte limit for no charge storage covers not just Google Photos, but also Google Drive and Gmail. So to me, this means that YouTube continues to be a miracle. When we look at Gmail and these sorts of things, obviously there is an immense cost that goes into data storage. If I had the pleasure, and by pleasure I mean a curse, of running a data storage unit for a while, it is gnarly to keep these computers running and running effectively. So obviously Google is paying a lot of money, and when they offer these free services, well, there you have it. Now YouTube, mind you, is able to hold on to just the most absurd amount of files, video files, for free, which is amazing. But obviously they are making a ton of money on ad revenue. And as a YouTube premium subscriber, let me tell you, it's worth every penny. I love not seeing ads on YouTube, and you probably will too. So as I've mentioned many times on the show before, the guests that we are able to acquire are truly phenomenal. We are so blessed. We're so lucky to have these people on the show. I was talking to Ray backstage, and this dude knows marketing. He deals with big clients. And for those of you that think, I want that $75,000 website. Do you? You say you do. When you start taking on some of those big money clients, they have big expectations, and you better come through. And there's a small slice of the population that can pay for those sorts of websites. You better do a good job, because you need that positive referral. If you want to play with the big boys and girls, you better show up. So our guest today is a seasoned marketing veteran. I am very happy to introduce to you the one, the only, Raven Hilst. Let's go.
Howdy. Thank you for having me.
So what's it like swimming with the big sharks?
It's funny that you say that, swimming with the big sharks. It's many of our clients that in the ones we work with, they actually feel like they're small companies as well. So
it's all relative.
It's all relative, and sometimes the person you think that can most afford a website is, or sometimes people come in and say, like, I want to spend all this money. I'm like, no, you don't. You don't need to do that. Just So but it's good. We have great clients who do awesome work and make a great impact on the world. So it's fun to build websites for them and help them get their name out there. And yeah. So.
Yeah. So you mentioned backstage that you are in an association for associations.
I am, yes. There's literally, I'm surprised on a daily basis. There's an association for everything. A lot of our company's work is with associations. I belong to the American Society for Association Executives. So there you go. But I've come across mushroom associations.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I came across one. Let's see who else. What some of our clients include, like the American Association of Endodontists. If you need a root canal, that's who you go see.
You got it.
Yeah, I'm working on we're working on a project right now with the International Association for the Study of Pain.
Oh,
So
yeah.
your chiropractors or nurses, your doctors, orthopedic surgeons, people that deal with pain and stuff like that. So how do they get better and help treat patients and advance the study of it? So
That's
yeah.
right. We just, we have a hive mind, Ray Van Hilst. We want this pandemic has just proven to me that, man, we are a social being. You can't isolate yourself. There's no question about it. And there are many people who do, but man, we really want to be in the presence of one another, even if we can just complain about it.
If we can complain about, or if we can all work together and make it a little bit better. I think that's the thing. And the pandemic has shown us that we don't have to all be physically located in the same city or in the same place to make it better. We can all work together.
Yeah, and as I've mentioned on the show before, I'm a huge fan of work from home. I think that deaths on the highways can be reduced drastically by us being smarter about the way we get together.
Yep.
From this moment until 4 p.m., I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be on one call after another, talking to folks, comfortable. If anyone happens to have body odor, I won't know it unless it's me.
Yep.
I mean, there are benefits. I'm not going to infect you with any sort of virus. You're not going to infect me. In the event that I got to go, I just log off. I mean, it is miraculous, and I take it for advantage. I take what's the word? Take it for granted every day.
Yeah. No, I was literally having this exact conversation with a colleague this morning that first of all, no one ever hired me for my good looks. So that's we don't need to worry about that, or how I dress, like whether or not I have a nice suit. But what they hire me and my team for is how well we do our job, how well we move the needle on someone's marketing, and yeah, we can be anywhere in the world doing that. And
yeah, it really is. I mean, it's such a cliche, but take someone from 400 years ago, plop them in front of my computer, and they'll say, "What sorcery is this?" And we don't even get it. I have no idea how electricity works. None. Zippo. Like zero. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And so for me to benefit in the ways that I do, it's pretty awesome. Not to mention in Venezuela, there's something called the apagón. Have you ever heard of that?
No, apagón.
Yeah. So apagar in Spanish means to turn off. And so if you have an own to something, it's like the big version of whatever that is. And so the apagón was the big shutdown. And basically, Venezuela was without power for weeks and months. The country, there were just issues like with the electric lines or whatever. Anyway, that's one thing. If you're like, you can't watch your Netflix, it's another when your water comes from a well that's an electric pump. So now we're talking about water shortage, not like we can't get the crops, but like into people's mouths, right? There's not enough water. So we simultaneously live in this world where those sorts of things are happening, and we wrestle with not only the empathy we have for people, but all the animals. And then we look into the universe at large and we go, well, there must be millions and billions and trillions of other species and beings and like floating around in the ether. And we take all of this understanding and then we make choices as this little individual human. We were all doing our best. And so when I see your shirt, I think to myself, okay, well, his head's in the right place. So do good, better. I wonder, beyond just doing a good job, what does that mean?
Yeah. So as I mentioned backstage, my company, we work exclusively with organizations doing good in the world. So, we joked about associations, and that's, we can laugh about that all we want, but if you stop and think about it, associations are the ones that make sure like your highways are built properly, that your cell phone towers all follow the same standards. If you're going to go see a doctor, that they're certified. So the associations are doing that. And like one of my favorite clients is an organization called the EMDR International Association, which is a type of therapy that's growing. EMDR, quick tangent, is really effective in the treatment of trauma, of helping people process trauma, get over it. So very, very like first responders, soldiers coming back with PTSD, sexual assault survivors. It's really effective. It's really growing. They're helping train more and more mental health professionals to become EMDR providers. So for us, it's like we're helping them, and I'll use them as our example. We help them train more providers who in turn treat more people. Our website project has now helped, we built a directory for them we've turned into a product. There were 25,000 requests for submissions to providers last year through the directory that we built. So if that's 25,000 people found help, we help them do that better. So that's kind of like the way you look at it. Another one of our clients is a company called Khajiit, and that makes mobile technology. During the pandemic, you may have heard of how like in inner cities, kids didn't have Wi-Fi access to get to schools. Khajiit came up with a program where they outfit buses with Wi-Fi, and the school system can like basically drop this bus in the middle of apartment buildings and blast Wi-Fi out to all the kids so they can attend school. So
that is miraculous. I have long made the argument that the internet is the great equalizer.
it is.
I mean, Harvard offers unlimited courses, not unlimited, many courses that you can just watch.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube is a miracle.
Miracle. Yeah.
If you are interested in calculus, I did this. I watched calculus videos for a few months because I had an insecurity. Having never taken calculus as a kid, I always thought, the smart math kids, they understand calculus. Right. That's not for me. I'm more of the literature English type, right?
Yeah.
Band type. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to circle back and watch some calculus. And I was like, oh, really? That's all that is? Oh. And all these little, and from, mind you, the population judging. I think historically, because of the atrocities that we've seen with populations choosing to elevate masochists or murderers, we tend to go, okay, just because it's popular doesn't mean it's good, which is true. What is also true is that many times it is popular precisely because it is exquisite. And so when I'm watching these calculus videos, they're very good with millions of views. And so I'm very happy for everyone that's judged. And sometimes I think that analogy isn't very good. Like if you look at Nazi Germany, sometimes the population doesn't have as much control over it as you think they would, and they rise to power. Like Venezuela, for example, Maduro is not a loved entity in Venezuela by all Venezuelans. I mean, there are a lot of people, and you want to talk about stolen elections and that sort of thing. So I can make an argument for the like button, for the democratization of the internet, and for how it is truly incredible, the quality of content we can receive, because by and large, the average person knows what's quality and knows what isn't.
Well, and then you're talking about the power of the internet, and the stories you're reading leading into this about like companies becoming the internet. That's actually, so one of our clients is the Internet Society. Literally. Okay. And I can send you a link to their global internet report that we did a few years ago. And one of the things that they have been thinking about is the fact that you have large companies controlling such large swaths of the internet. And so that consolidation that's happening is a concern. And from a marketing perspective, as we take a look at that, is like, where are we putting our energies into that? Like when search engine optimization, like, I have to play by Google's rules because they control so much of the search. So these large companies that control so much, from antitrust perspective, but that I'll pull up the link to that for you and throw that in the chat notes for you so you can
take a look.
Yeah.
There's a search engine that I'm continuously embarrassed that I can't remember what it is. So I'm going to search right now for it. Search engine to plant trees. There was Acacia, let's say. Eco, S-I-A. Eco, S-I-A. Acacia, let's say.
Okay.
So I was told by a recent guest of mine that acacia.org, which has planted 128,645,318, 19, 20, 21, it's growing, trees, is doing so because what they realized was Bing was willing to license their search engine results. And so they went to Bing and they said, hey, can we just use this infrastructure that you have? We'll pay you whatever that dollar amount is. And then any additional revenue that we generate will go straight to the planting of trees. And it just is what it is, right? We won't profit from it, and we'll just plant a metric ton of trees. And that's what they've done. And so that sort of entrepreneurship to me is what I want my next project to be. So I have a gentleman who's a laser surgeon. I had a medical issue with my eye, and I call him St. James because I went from like a depression that is difficult to even put into words to not depressed because he solved it. And I want to work with him. I want to partner with him, but let's put that over there. I also have a desire to do something like Acacia. I'm waiting for the universe to sort of like align the stars, and so I can find whatever this project happens to be. Do you have a project like that you're working on or have worked on in the past where it just got your soul on fire?
Yeah, well, that EMDR one was one as a good example. That was one, and in particular, we have one of our team members is a veteran. Another one team member, her husband is military, and I have a lot of friends who are military, and I actually have a friend who's an EMDR therapist. So that was one that was very personal to me.
Yep.
For a lot of projects that we do, there is a personal connection for that, and that makes the work that much real. Like we've done 2 animal rescue.
Oh
groups.
yeah.
I mean and that's fun. But we're doing some work with the World Wildlife Fund with WWF, and that's awesome to help them, increase their impact and stuff like that. So many years ago, I had the joy of working with the National Wildlife Federation, which I was freelancing at the time, and it was right around the time of the Deepwater Horizon spill.
Oh yeah.
And that was really a fun project because I grew up reading Ranger Rick. Right, I was connected. I'd been a NWF member and stuff like that. So, but helping them advocate and get their programs out and stuff like that. So, I think that connection comes through for it. That's the joy of as we approach our work and the way, because we're selective about the clients we do. Every one of our team members cares passionately about it. So. It does make for some long days because we're willing to work some ridiculously crazy hours to get things done, but the end result is really awesome.
Yeah, so I love that. It's obviously a motivator to be working for projects like that. Yeah. That's not the business model at Send It Rising. I mean, we don't have that where we have a client and we go, you know what, my heart's in this because of the net impact, but we do have that sort of scrappy small business. It's like, what's the alternative in a capitalist society?
Well, I
you know what I mean? Like, you're a small business owner, you got to feed your kids. It's like you got, you need clients, you need customers.
But that's where you said we all come together and do this, and I think is part of the trait of everyone on our team, and I naturally gravitate towards people like this. I jokingly call myself pathologically helpful. So, I mean, case in point, tangent.
Yeah.
I was up in West Virginia 2 weekends ago, up in Canaan Valley, West Virginia, which is a beautiful wildlife refuge. I am out on a mountain bike ride by myself, left my family behind. I am like 8 miles into the middle of no freaking where mountain bike, right? And I come across two people and we make a joke about rush hour and we're like rehydrating and stuff like that. It's literally, I was riding for 4 hours. These are the only two people I saw. Ended up chatting about something, connected her with an executive coach. Like she's works with a nonprofit here in the DC area, so on and so forth. That's just when helpful people come together. That's what we do. And as a marketing agency, you're helping a local business, and just like I'm helping these organizations or our for-profit clients get revenue in the door, put food on the table, put roof over people's heads, keep the lights on, and we work together to make that happen. And I think when you're coming at the work within that, how do I help this person succeed? That we succeed. Have you read Give and Take by Adam Grant?
No,
It's a good
never even
example.
heard of it.
Yeah, great book. And where he talks about people that just give and help people out. Those kinds of people make the world better. And we need more people like that. Just go, let me take 10 minutes to help you with this problem.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, I gravitated towards teaching early in my days, because I want to help people out. So marketing in 2021, I've made the argument that live is just like, I don't want to say it's a requirement, but it's getting there. I mean, everybody's going live all the time, constantly.
They're going live. So I'm curious though, like, what are the analytics of people then paying attention?
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Trust. I'm right there with you. So here's why I think live is so important. Because according to me, live is SEO, and here's why.
Okay.
Every word I'm saying right now, auto captions in YouTube, because this is going to YouTube. Mm-hmm. And so every time I say social media, SEO, marketing, website, all of those keywords are being added to the pool of words that's understood by the YouTube algorithm. Mm-hmm. This YouTube video can be then embedded onto a page that's about this particular thing. So that's an additional page on the website. So there you go.
Yep.
It's simulcasting, because why wouldn't you? Right?
That's 2 clicks of a button. Yeah.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you simulcast to LinkedIn, Facebook, to Twitter, which is Periscope, Twitch.tv, which is what we're doing. And then it's also a podcast because it's an MP4, right? And so the podcast can go on iTunes, Spotify, and 14 other by using something like buzzsprout.com. Yep. So sitting here having a conversation that I would have anyway. Right? Like,
you're just turning it into.
Yeah, I thought, like you and me, you'd be like, hey, do you want to do 30 minutes? So why not receive 20 links and put out all of that mojo, right, into the internet, even if, the end result of it is like 60 people see it across all the platforms. Yeah. Right. So like,
well, and it's a matter of being efficient, and you're reusing the content and repurposing, doing the thought work once and doing it over and over again, and using it that way. So it's effective. And small businesses, by the way, can be doing the exact same things. I think, the trend, I will, you mentioned TikTok. I will admit to being on TikTok. I've yet to actually publish one, but instead of watching TV, I'll watch TikToks. For 30, 40 minutes. I have to set a timer. People are watching TikTok instead of watching TV.
I'm saying, so the TikTok algorithm, I've learned a few things recently. Number one, you should be on TikTok, people. Like, you really should, and here's why. The first post that you do will get around 500 views. I've seen this across multiple people, including myself. The reason is because there's a lack of creators on TikTok. There's a vacuum. There's a ton of people enjoying the content, tons and tons and tons and tons. Mm-hmm. But the number of creators is not the same as Facebook, Instagram, etc. So those are really, if you don't already have an audience, those are the only platforms that should have any of an interest to you, is ones where you can actually take off. And so producing on TikTok, my first one was 500, my next one was 600, my next one was 700. And then I picked up an acoustic guitar and it dropped down to 60. And then 100. Now I'm back up to like 600-700.
Now, what song did you play though?
Oh, I made one up, which is even
Okay,
worse.
cool.
Which is even worse. Like the cringe, it's just too strong. The cringe is too strong, and but I refuse to take it down, and because I was proud of it. But anyway, my sister, who is TikTok famous, left a comment on one of my TikToks the other day, and it got 94 likes. And so there's a lot of going on with the TikTok in terms of, you know what I mean? Like who's commenting, who's sharing, how many likes are you getting in a certain amount of time, et cetera. But if I do a post on the Send It Rising business page, I might get a like or two, right? Yeah. If I do it on TikTok, 93, where should I be spending all of my time? Because we have yet to establish a legitimate audience somewhere of thousands and thousands of people. And so this is the only shot we have. Forget LinkedIn. We've been posting there for years. Forget Facebook. We've been posting there for years. Forget Twitter. We've been posting there for years. Forget Instagram. We've been posting there. Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like there are just these moments of time. And then once you have an established audience, move them to the next platform. Move them over to this one. Like that's not,
because move them back to your website. Because they're a rented audience, and that's where clients would like want to double down on social media strategy. First of all, I'm like, I have clients come to us like, I want to be doing social media. I'm like, are you ready for this marathon? Are you ready to sign up to do this time and time again and keep that going? And then where are you going to send them? Because if you don't have a good destination, like you're renting your audience, you're renting your space. We saw that on Facebook. I mean, I've been doing Facebook forever. It feels like. When they changed the algorithms and the organic reach went away, and now because it's like everyone's like, oh my god, I was like, really? Like you knew this was coming. They were going to charge for, they want promoted posts, and that's what it does now. Then that's their model, supporting the small business, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, let's be fair. We're renting these bodies. When I look at people who have yachts and mansions and stuff, and they're like, oh, I own this and I own that. I'm like, you don't own jack. You don't own jack. You can't. The only thing you own is your soul, everything, your consciousness. Like you're renting everything else. You know what I mean? So like enjoy it while you're there. And if I'm in the middle of Yellowstone, I'm a billionaire because that real estate is worth trillions probably, if you think about it. And if I'm standing there enjoying it, then it's the same as the dude who's got the deed to the land, as far as I'm concerned.
And really, the only thing you own is the time that you're spending on doing it. And so are you enjoying the time of what you're doing? And if not, then so.
Right.
Focus your energy there.
Yeah. So we always get spiritual on the show. So we just tend to go there, which I'm okay with. 10:58, couple minutes left on the show. I want to make sure that our good friend Ray Van Hilst gets a chance to be a selfish capitalist. Tell us where you can reach him and pitch his stuff. So go right ahead, Ray.
I'll pitch it easy. First of all, if anyone wants to find me and wants to tap into my pathologically helpful brain, just Google me. I'm so search engine optimized. I'm easy to find, but our company is yokoco.com. So just yokoco.com. My email address is ray@yokoco.com, but otherwise Google me, Ray Van Hilst. You'll find me. There's only one. I better not screw it up. And I told my kids, don't you all screw up because you all have SEO optimized names, so I'm going to know about it. So.
Oh, wow. There you go. Good stuff. Ray obviously killing it on the game. Swimming with at least the mid-sized sharks, let's call it, if not the whales. Marketing is a foreign language, 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, live on YouTube, youtube.com/Send It Rising is where you're going to want to go. Why Send It Rising? Because that is the marketing agency that I happen to own. I work with some of the most incredible people on planet Earth. I'm very, very fortunate to have that opportunity. If you are listening to this after the fact on iTunes, Spotify, Deezer, or the 12 other podcast platforms that we are streaming, we appreciate it and love you. If you want to do us a favor, the best thing you can do for us is swing by youtube.com/Send It Rising and hit the like button on a bunch of videos. Leave a comment. I don't care if your comment says, hey, how's it going? Makes no difference to me. Do it for the algorithm. We genuinely appreciate you swinging on by. We're going to give Ray the final word.
Just keep being helpful out there. Do some good work, connect with others, and make awesome things happen through your marketing and your efforts.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see y'all next time.